Good morning, Miss and my fellow friends. Today, our group want to present about election in Malaysia. Our member group is me, Tasia, Umi Anis, Nunisa Kristina, and Nur Asni Fazira. Introduction. The Malaysian general election exists in two levels, namely the federal level and the state level. General election at the national level are those who are elected for membership in the Dewan Rakyat Malaysia, the lower house of parliament, while state level elections are for electing members in the state legislative assembly. The head of the national executive body, Prime Minister and State, Menteri Besar, or chief minister are elected indirectly. Traditionally, the election of members of parliament and members of the state legislative assembly are held simultaneously, except in Sarawak. This is about election. Elections are held every 5 years after parliament is dissolved by the YDPA. Held within 60 days after the dissolution of parliament in Peninsular Malaysia and days in Sabah and Sarawak. Members elected to the House of Representatives after winning the election cannot become members of the National Assembly. Election candidate criteria. Malaysian, not bankrupt, does not hold an income position the government, not possessing foreign citizen, permanent resident of the state. This is about Suruhanjaya Pilihan Raya, SPR, an independent body that is neutral from political party, conduct vote registration and check voter registration. Fill the vacant seat of the people, registering the competing candidates and determining the candidate who meet the prescribed qualification. Receive and investigate appeals about the election to ensure the smooth running of the election. SPR member criteria. Age not less than 65 years, not bankrupt, not a supporter of member of political party, does not hold any other salary position. This is for small election. By-election are held when a member of parliament or member of the state assembly of an area has died, disqualified, or resigned. Members of parliament or state legislators who resign are not allowed to contest for a period of 5 years. The Speaker of the House of Representatives and the State Legislative Assembly will inform the PC to hold by election if the ruling party lost its majority position. Next.
Okay, for the election district boundaries, it's also known as an election district legislative. It's a subdivision of a large state. It's created to provide its population representation in the large state legislative body. There are in total 222 federal and 600 state electoral districts nationwide. And also there is a list of federal constituency followed by the state constituency in Malaysia. Each federal constituency contains 2 to 6 states, except the federal territories where there are only federal constituency. Electoral district boundaries are not permanent, and the election commission may review and redelineate boundaries at an interval of not less than 8 years. Okay, next. Okay, for the election process, elections are supervised by a 7-member election commission. Its members are appointed by the Yang Di-Pertua Agong following the advice of the Prime Minister. For the first process is nomination process. It's selecting a candidate for either election to a public officer or the bestowing of an honor or award. It's set up in various locations by the election commission to allow candidates to register themselves. They must put first deposit 10,000 to contest a parliamentary seat and 5,000 for a seat at state level. They will lose their deposit if they fail to get at least 1/8 of total number of vote cast. And then next is campaign. It's permitted by law runs for the date of nomination day until polling day. Campaign opposite parties is often hampered by a lack of access to government control media, and there is a rule for the campaign is cannot use improper material, no illegal forum, and no going above campaign spending limits, which are 200,000 for federal level and 100,000 state level. Okay, next is on the election day. So registered voters can cast ballots for their preferred candidates at designated polling station. Polling station. Usually they will use school or community center for the polling station. All school activities are suspended for the day, and holiday also is declared in state where election day does not fall on a weekend to allow for maximum voter turnout. No campaign or advocate for candidate is allowed within a voting center. On election day, each candidate is allowed one agent per voting center. Their job starts early and begins by inspecting that the metal ballots box have not been tampered. They also ensure that the box are securely locked before voting begins. So the voting process, since 15 December 2021, Malaysian citizens 18 years old and above are automatically registered to vote. Even it is not compulsory. Counting and announcement of election result after the close of voting, the election agents check the ballot box prior to opening and counting. If all candidates agree to count and stand, or else an immediate recount, it is done at the counting center. Election results are announced through live broadcast by radio and television station.
Okay, election offense. These offences are defined and regulated by specific laws in Malaysia, including the Election Offence Act 1954. Some common election offences under Malaysian election law include personation, bribery and threatening, undue influence, corrupt practice, illegal campaign, false statements, illegal voting, election offence by election officials. Okay, here is a list of federal generation election in Malaysia, Malay and Malaysia from the country independence in 1957. First, 1955 Malayan general election. This was the first general election held in Malay before independence. It led to the formation of the Alien Party, which later became the Barisan Nasional. 1955 Malayan general election. Following Malaya independence, this election saw the continuation for the Alliance Party rules. 1954 Malayan general election held the formation of Malaysia in 1963. This election marked the inclusion of Sabah and Sarawak. This Alliance Party once again. For 1965, 1969 Malaysian general election. 1969 Malaysian general election. This election was significant due to the race riots that followed. The Alliance Party was renamed the Barisan Nasional and continued to rule. In 1974, Malaysian general election, Barisan Nasional won this election, maintaining its political domains. In 1978, Malaysian general election, another victory for the Barisan Nasional, its position in Malaysia politics. Okay, next. Okay, in 1982, Malayan general election, Barisan Nasional continue its electoral success, securing a significant majority. In 1986, Malaysian general election, the Barisan Nasional won again, maintaining its long-standing control of Malaysian politics. In 1990, Malaysian general election, the Barisan Nasional secured another victory, extending its rule. In 1995 Malaysian general election, the Barisan Nasional will remain in power after this election. In 1999 Malaysian general election, this election saw some challenge for the Barisan Nasional, but result it is continued rule. In 2004 Malaysian general election, Barisan Nasional won with a substantial majority once more. Okay, next. In 208 Malaysian general election, this election marked a significant shift in Malaysia politics, with the opposition making substantial again. The Barisan Nasional retained power but with a reduced majority. In 213 Malaysian general election, Barisan Nasional secured another victory, albeit with a smaller popular vote share. In 218 Malaysian general election, the Pakatan Harapan, led by Mahathir Mohamad, won this election, resulting in a change of government for the first time in the Malaysia history. And last, 222 Malaysian general election. This election, Pakatan Harapan, Barisan Nasional, Gabungan Parti Sarawak, Gabungan Rakyat Sabah, and Warisan in 222. Okay. Next, latest election, Federal Parliament, main Article 222 Malaysian general election. And then state legislative assemblies, main Article 222, Malaysian state elections.
Future election. The Constitution of Malaysia stipulates that Parliament lasts for 5 years from the day of its first sitting unless dissolved earlier by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Okay, next. Different state and general election. Okay, first, a state election is held to elect members of the state assembly and the state government headed by the chief minister. Second, a general election determines who becomes a member of parliament and which party helm the federal government led by the prime minister. Okay, next. Okay, the summary or conclusion. This slide provides substantive information about election. Ever since independence, Malaysia has undergone 12 general election and numerous by-election. The upcoming election in this year is the culmination of years of experience by the Election Commission to ensure that the people are given their right to vote for their candidates in a free and just manner. Okay, it's done from our group. Okay, thank you.